Principles of Finance, a la Shmup. Assessing the net cost of debt. All right, we're going to start the dive deep into debt land here. Everything you wanted to know about debt, but were afraid to ask, and more. All right, but in this lesson, all we care about are metrics we use to establish, quote, appropriate, unquote, debt levels for a given company. All right, first, let's make up a personal story that hits home. You've saved 40 grand by working weekends for 3 years, and you find just the right home. Underground pool that's intentional. Firehouse pole to slide down. Killer stereo system. Price tag, 300 grand. So you do quick math. On your $50,000 a year salary, can you afford the home? Well, on 50 grand in income, you pay 10 grand in taxes in a blue state, so you net 40 grand. But if you have a big fat mortgage, well, the $10,000 bite of those taxes will feel a little easier. Why? Well, because the interest you pay on your mortgage is tax deductible. Here's the math. You decide to get an adjustable rate mortgage, or ARM, and yeah, there's a whole video on that thing. You get a low, very cheap teaser or initial rate of 4% interest to start, as you gulp when you sign the paperwork, knowing that adjustable rates mean that they're adjustable. They could go up a lot. With this particular loan set to go up to 6% in 2 years and then just float as LIBOR plus 200 basis points, right? Remember LIBOR, the London Interbank Rate of Interest? Yeah, that's the price of renting money to best customers of banks around the world. All right, as a customer, you're good, but you're not best, so you pay 2% over LIBOR. So if LIBOR was 1%, you'd pay 3% interest. If LIBOR balloons to 7%, well, you'd pay 9% interest. Got it? So you put 40 grand down on this beautiful home with the fire pole and the pool and all that, and you borrow $260,000, and you pay 4% interest to start. That's $10,400 a year in interest, all deductible. So you're really now paying taxes of $8,000 instead of about $10,000. Wow, how did that magic work? How did you save 2 grand in taxes? Well, that $50,000 a year salary is $42,000 in your pocket after taxes now. How? Well, you paid $12,000 over the year as part of your 30-year mortgage payments. And note, we're stripping off payments of principal, which is different from payments of interest. Principal's not deductible, interest is. Your payment's $1,000 a month because, well, that's just what the bank said. You have to pay down on your principal. So on that payment of $1,000, well, let's say $800 and change is interest, and the $200 or so is principal. So if it's $800 of interest that's fully, totally, completely, 100% deductible, and there are 12 months a year still, then 12 times $800 and change gives you about $10,000 in interest payments throughout the year for your homes to rent that 240 grand. Got it? So as far as the IRS is concerned now, you didn't earn $50K of taxable earnings. You actually earned $40K, and it's on that 40 grand net, then you'll pay taxes of about 8 grand on the 40 grand you've earned, leaving you about 30 grand to live on. And remember, there's a few grand you paid down in principal over the year, or call it 2 grand and change. So it leaves you a net number of about 30 grand, from which to then pay real estate taxes of 5 grand a year, and then to eat, heat, and maybe even furnish the place a bit. And yes, the 5 grand in real estate taxes is in addition to taxes you pay on your income. So after all is said and done, well, let's say you now have 25 grand to pay your car loan, eat, drink, clothe yourself, and, well, just do everything else. Got it? 50K in income, 8K in deductible interest payments, principal pay down, and a few other, things bring your take-home cash to a small number. But then inflation strikes. Huzzah. The governments of the world decide that they're nervous about inflation getting out of hand, so they use the key tool they have to fight inflation. They raise interest rates, hoping to cool off the economy. Interest rates rise to combat inflation, and woe is you, LIBOR goes to 6%. Ooh, big fast jump. It means you're now paying 8% interest on your home loan, that loan that you were paying only 4% initially. Well, the semi-good news is that in the last 2 years, you paid down 10 grand of principal, so now you only owe 250 grand on your mortgage. But at 8% on 250K, well, your payments are now 2 grand a month, $24,000 a year. 20 grand of that is interest payments, 4 grand is principal pay down. Got it? So yes, your 20 grand in interest is fully deductible. You take your 50K and subtract 20K, and now you're paying taxes as if you'd earned $30,000 a year, i.e. i.e. on 30 grand of net taxable earnings, you won't pay much in taxes. Let's guess, maybe, I don't know, 6 grand in taxes? But you still have your 5 grand a year in real estate taxes. That doesn't change with inflation. Now all of a sudden, things are tight. You earn 50 grand pre-tax, but then subtract 6K in taxes, 20K in mortgage interest, 5K in real estate taxes, and that gives you something like 20 grand in net earnings that you'll be taxed on, maybe 2 grand then in taxes. But ouch, that leaves you only $18,000 to live on. That $350 a month car payment's starting to feel awfully heavy. Food? Well, yeah, how much are ramen noodles again? And then a robot knocks on your company's door one day and replaces you. There are jobs for you if you move. So you have to sell your home quickly, find another job, or start posting for extra jobs on Craigslist. This is how people go bankrupt. And more or less, it's how companies go bankrupt as well. So as you go through the rest of the videos in this course, think about the squeeze we just outlined. As a financial manager, you're kind of the last person standing. In essence, the chief risk officer. So if your company goes bankrupt because the cost structure wasn't properly reflective of the revenues and profits you earned, well, it's likely largely your fault, not to rub it in or anything.